Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, the godfather of heavy metal, and one of rock's most unforgettable icons, is gone. He died on July 22nd, 2025, at the age of 76, surrounded by family. The cause of death hasn't been confirmed, but in recent years, Ozzy had been battling Parkinsonism, a degenerative neurological condition that slowly stripped away his physical strength, but never touched the fire that made him a legend. Across the world, fans are mourning. From the Hollywood Walk of Fame in Los Angeles to the Black Sabbath bench in Birmingham, the places that marked Ozzy's journey have become makeshift shrines. Flowers, candles, vinyl records, and handwritten notes now cover the ground. But what's really being laid there isn't just memorabilia. It's memory, grief, and deep generational love.
I hold myself back from crying because Black Sabbath is, they're like my band. They were, I've been listening to them most of my life, so that's I connected with them when I was probably 12 or 13 years old. Hey, so you couldn't ignore it. It was just cool. They were cool. They inspired a whole generation to. That's what I'm saying. Hey, I can do this, and an entire generation did. Look at the 80s.
U.S. versions still sound pretty good, and Kevin Gray is probably the best cutting engineer in the world. Cut these versions. As far as Sabbath records go, these Rhino hi-fis are really the way to go. They're really, I'm just looking at them right now because they're such beautifully put together records. I saw it coming because he'd been sick for a few years now, but didn't make it any easier. It's funny when people you admire but don't know pass away, but you feel really sad about it. Me in particular, because Ozzy's work, especially his stuff with Black Sabbath, meant a lot to me, and he was a huge influence on me personally, and the way I live. Maybe some elements more than others, but yeah, it was really sad.
Because Ozzy wasn't just a singer, he was a symbol of rebellion, of survival, of raw, unfiltered humanity. And his story? It's the stuff of rock mythology. Born John Michael Osbourne in the gritty city of Birmingham in 1948, Ozzy grew up in poverty, one of 6 children crammed into a house without indoor plumbing. Struggling with dyslexia and attention deficit disorder, he dropped out of school at 15, floated through odd jobs, and even spent time in prison for burglary. But from those bleak beginnings, a voice and a vision was forged. It all changed in 1968. Ozzy answered a flyer and formed a band with Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward. After a few name changes, they became Black Sabbath, inspired by horror films and the sense that the world was darker than anyone wanted to admit. Their music was slow, heavy, and haunting. Critics dismissed it. Radio ignored it. But listeners, they found themselves in it. Songs like Paranoid, War Pigs, and Iron Man weren't just music. They were anthems for the alienated, the angry, the misunderstood. Ozzy's eerie, wailing vocals didn't just lead the band. They defined heavy metal itself. But fame came with a price. As the band exploded globally, Ozzy spiraled into drugs and alcohol. He missed gigs. He fought with bandmates. In 1979, Black Sabbath fired their frontman. For most artists, that would be the end. But Ozzy Osbourne was never most artists. Instead, he reinvented himself. With the help of Sharon Arden, who would later become his wife, Ozzy launched a solo career that not only matched his Sabbath years, but in many ways surpassed them. His first solo album, Blizzard of Oz, delivered Crazy Train, one of rock's most enduring anthems. The world had counted him out. Ozzy responded by becoming bigger than ever, yet the madness continued. He bit the head off a dove during... He surprised them again. In 2002, the Osbournes hit MTV, and the world saw the truth. Ozzy wasn't just a rock god, he was a confused, mumbling, deeply loving father, a man who fought with remotes more than demons, the foul-mouthed family patriarch of a household that made millions laugh, cry, and see him anew. The show broke ratings records, it redefined celebrity culture, it made Ozzy, the same man who once threw raw meat at fans, into America's most oddly lovable dad. But even fame couldn't shield him from time. A 2003 ATV crash nearly killed him. Later, his diagnosis with Parkinsonism made performing difficult. Yet even then, Ozzy kept showing up for fans, for his family, for his music. He released more albums, collaborated with artists like Post Malone, headlined Ozzfest, and in July 2025, he returned to Birmingham, the city that raised him, for one final performance. Seated on a black throne, frail but proud, he reunited with the original Black Sabbath lineup for one last, haunting set. Fans wept. So did Ozzy. Weeks later, he was gone, and now tributes pour in from across the world. In Birmingham, fans spoke of how he never forgot his roots. He never ditched Birmingham, one said. He was a Brummie through and through. In Los Angeles, people left flowers at his Hollywood star and flipped through Sabbath records in amoeba music with tears in their eyes. One man said, "He got me through a lot. High school, depression, life." Another fan called him a true legend, someone we never outgrew. Ozzy's life was messy, loud, violent, beautiful. From Sabbath to solo stardom, from drug addiction to a reality TV renaissance, from biting bats to hugging grandkids. His journey was a contradiction, but so is life. He sold more than 100 million records, was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice, helped build two entire genres, heavy metal and reality TV. But his real legacy isn't in the awards or headlines, it's in the people he inspired. The ones who felt too weird, too broken, too angry, and found in Ozzy a voice that said, "You're not alone." He once said, "I'm not the Antichrist, I'm a family man." And that's what we'll remember. A man who gave us darkness but also light, who screamed into the void and made us feel void.
How are you, sir? Where are you at the moment? Because Sharon was saying...
I'm still in recovery. I'm still finding it hard trying to walk. I'm getting there.
My granddad and my dad, like,